how to repair a broken pot. So it may be inevitable, you may break a pot. Some of them can be expensive, some of them can be cheap, but I'm showing this as an example to show you how to fix it. So you'll need a choice of implements, some wire or cable, cutters, a duct tape and some scissors. So let's get into the procedure and get the patient ready. Okay, so you can see here the extent of the damage is basically the corner that's been broken. So the first thing to do is you want to bacterialize the patient, make sure he's rid of any dirt and compost. So he's been given a bacterial bath with H2O, and as soon as that's done we can see there's a gap here where the piece is missing. So the first point of call is going to be using a specialist equipment to create some points of entry, some incisions, just like that. Don't worry if you lose parts in the patient, it will naturally heal itself. Let me just get this bit here and see if we can do this again. So the idea is to make a few incisions, just like okay, there's one. So now what we've done there is made a nice clean incision, which we will use in a second, which I will show you. Make sure you have a dog sniffing about. That always helps with the process, so you can make sure that your surgical procedure goes to plan. So let's just make a secondary hole. I think for this patient, because of the trauma caused, you will need 2 stitches. There is another stitch insertion, and make sure you've got enough morphine for the patient so they don't lose consciousness as part of this incision process. So we have 2 there. Now we're just going to flip that around and do the other 2. Make sure that the family of the patient are in the waiting room so they don't have to put up with all this jiggery pokery. So there, oh, another incision. Ideally, if you were a foot professional, you'd have a drill bit this size, but I don't have one this small, so I'm using a screw. And here we go. There we go. Oh, that will happen from time to time. Just recover. Okay, once the incisions have been made, you need to get some of your stitching material. In this case, we're using metal, and this metal will help severely with the weight distribution. So we're just going to feed it through the holes that we created. It might be better to feed it outside in, so let's do a little section and just cut a bit off with our implement. Forceps, please. There we go. Cut that there. Feed it through as a stitch, and let's just get a nice view of that. We're basically creating a new strength point. Worry not, this will be covered by bandages, so the patient will never see these again. They're self-dissolve, well, they're non-self-dissolving, so they'll stay there forever. Let's do another one and bring you right back. Okay, there you can see the 2 stitches that we've implemented. They are 0.5mm stitches, spaced 4/10 of a 35th of the millimeter of the centimeter of the. We're just gonna tighten the inside up, and we'll come right back. We don't want to show you this traumatic experience. You may faint, so we'll come back once this has been done. After a quick evaluation of the patient, we've discovered, due to the extent of the damage caused, we may have to put a 3rd stitch in here. So we'll do that right now and bring you straight back. So you can see the stitch job just there. I can say that's a beautiful job, if I do say so myself. That will bring the patient ease and heal. Well, it won't heal, but it won't grow back either. However, it'll be strong enough to support. So let me bring you the final stage of the bandaging. In order to support adhesion of the wound, we will need to use the Royal Horticultural Society method of stitching, and bandaging. So please refer to year 3 of the practice of medical students to learn of that. So here is the first corner bandage. We are applying this at a point where the stitch is not, to give extra support. So you can see this will help the patient's mobility. So we're just going to give him a nice little whack there, and the last one here we will put just below the final stitch, and that will allow the shape and the contour of the natural body to remain. So that has been phase 1 bandages, and now we'll do the secondary internal bandages, and we'll bring you right back and you will see the patient good as new. That is the final Frankenstein of a fix. It remains to be seen if the bandages will remain on this type of material, but we'll do some investigating and leave the agent to support.